Today we're taking a look at a brand new microphone called the ISOMIC. It was created specifically for use with that guy right there in the back, the ISOVOX 2. In fact, when you put the two of them together, that's what ISOVOX calls the ISOVOX solution. Now for this video, I'm going to be focusing in on the ISOMIC itself, but if you want more information on the ISOVOX 2, you can check out the video I've done for that in the past. I'll leave a link for it in the description below. And before we get to it, it's important to note that I'm not paid, sponsored, or endorsed by ISOVOX. They just sent the product and asked me to try it out and then give an honest opinion. So that's what this is. Let's start with the claim. ISOVOX says that with the ISOVOX solution, you'll be able to record radio-ready voiceover from anywhere and get the same consistent quality sound. Notice I said voiceover. The ISOMIC was designed, tuned, and built specifically for use in voiceover. Take a quick glance at the back of the mic and you'll notice the Erland logo. While the ISOMIC is powered by Erland, it's made and designed by ISOVOX. So with so many other microphones out there to choose from, why did ISOVOX decide to make the ISOMIC? Well, it turns out that larger mics don't always fit, since they weren't created to be used with the ISOVOX. Not only that, but if you use the wrong mic or if you set it up incorrectly with the ISOVOX, it can lead to far from perfect recordings. So ISOVOX wanted to take the guesswork out of using the ISOVOX 2 by creating a small, simple, but powerful microphone to go hand in hand with the ISOVOX 2 that always delivers radio-ready voiceover. So how they do it? It starts with a triangular membrane. When you speak into a mic, the membrane picks up on the sound waves. The triangular membrane recovers about 3 times faster than a circular membrane found in most other mics. In other words, it's ready to pick up more details sooner, which makes for a cleaner, clearer, and richer voiceover. Now this can get pretty advanced, so if you want more details about a triangular membrane versus a circular membrane, check out this video that explains it better. I'll leave a link in the description below. Next up is self-noise. Self-noise is the signal that the microphone itself produces even when there is no sound source present. So ideally you want this to be as low as possible. The ISOMIC has ultra-low self-noise coming in at less than 7 decibels. You can compare that to the Sennheiser MKH416 at 13 decibels, and that makes the ISOMIC one of the quietest mics available. The frequency range of the ISOMIC is also impressive, as it's capable of picking up sounds starting at 7 Hz all the way up to 87 kHz. Since this is the ISOVOX solution, it's more than just the mic, it's also got the extras that you need when you're working in voiceover. Like the cloud mount. It works just like a shock mount, allowing the mic to sit on a rubber pad to reduce the vibrations. The ISOMIC also has 2 pop removal zones to help prevent plosives. One is located within the mic casing, and the second attaches to the cloud mount and is set the ideal distance from the mic. Also, notice the size difference between the ISOPOP and the Stedman metal pop filter. The smaller size is going to help save some space when you're working inside the ISOVOX. Now, all these technical and design ideas look great on paper, but what does the mic actually sound like? Let's go ahead and do some samples. ISOVOX says in order to get the best sound, you'll want to set the center of the mic's membrane 6 1/4 inches from the base of the ISOVOX. Okay, let's go ahead and record some samples. For this first sample, I'm speaking into the ISOMIC from within the ISOVOX 2 with both sides on and the back down. This is a completely dry recording with no EQ or compression added. For this second sample, I've added slight compression to the voiceover. Again, I'm speaking into the ISOMIC from within the ISOVOX 2 with both sides on and the back down. Compression has been added to the recording, but no EQ. For this third sample, I'm speaking into the ISOMIC from within the ISOVOX 2 with one side removed and the back is up. This is a completely dry recording. There is no EQ or compression added. For this fourth sample, I've added slight compression to the voiceover. Again, I'm speaking into the ISOMIC from within the ISOVOX 2 with one side removed and the back up. Compression has been added to the recording, but there is no EQ. And for this final sample, I'm speaking into the ISOMIC outside of the ISOVOX 2 in an untreated space, just to see what a normal room would sound like when you're using the ISOMIC. Okay, so now that you've heard the samples, if you think that the ISOMIC and the ISOVOX solution will be a good fit for you, it's available for purchase at the usual audio retailers, places like Sweetwater and B&H, or you can order directly from isovoxbooth.com. Right now it's listed at $1,299 just for the ISOMIC. You also get access to the ISOVOX Insiders Club, which includes a free ISOPOP refill, mixing tips, setup guides, priority support, and more when you purchase the ISOMIC. All right, now for some final thoughts, and we'll start with what I like about the ISOMIC. First off, nothing feels cheap when it comes to ISOVOX. Even the box for the ISOMIC feels pretty high-end and luxurious. I also appreciate the smaller size of this mic, and the included cloud mount and pop filter makes setup even easier. The impressive specs like the frequency range and the low self-noise all add to getting that clean and clear sound which we're looking for when we're recording voiceover. But there are some things that I would like to see improved when it comes to the ISOMIC, and the first is the price. $12.99 just feels a bit high to me when you compare it to the other voiceover microphones like the Neumann TLM103, which costs around $1,000 and also has low self-noise. I also noticed a slight boxy sound when I used the ISOVOX 2, and I really hope that the ISOMIC would completely eliminate this, but I find myself having to get really close to the mic to reduce the boxiness effect. And this could be reduced with EQ, but I'd rather not have to do that. I hope this review has helped you. If you want more information about ISOVOX, make sure that you head over to their website, isovoxbooth.com. And if you want more voiceover tips and resources, go to voiceacting101.com. All right, that's it. I'll talk to you next time. See ya.